Hello, good afternoon or morning, everyone. As everyone is popping in, I'll give everyone a few moments. If this is your first webinar with one of us, welcome. If you don't know who I am, my name's Elena. I'm with Kee Technology. Today we have Whitney from the Whitney team leader, and also all tech guru, I would call him, and then Luke from Agent Fire, who is, I don't even know, you're the jack of all trades. Like, you know so many things.
Product officer is the official word, but yeah, it spans past that.
Yes, way beyond that. Yeah, definitely. So thank you all for joining today. We are, as advertised, talking about how to market your listings more efficiently, generate more leads, and convert those leads. I'm curious in chat, for those who can, if you would like rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 for how you market your listings and generate leads from those, how would you rank yourself on a 1 to 10? Chase, how would you rank yourself?
8.5.
Okay, there you go.
I like the modesty. I like the modesty.
Always room to improve.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we are going to start out with the very beginning for different ways you can market your listing, and that starts with how you place it online on your website specifically. There's right ways and wrong ways to format a page and generate and convert more people whenever they visit your site. So I won't steal the thunder away from Luke. So Luke, I'll let you take it from here.
Perfect. Well, hey everyone, I'm glad to be here today. And what we're going to be going over first is how to properly set up your listing so that it, in return, can get you better results when you start marketing it. And at Agent Fire, we have a tool called Listings Hub that allows our agents and teams using our product to very easily be able to build out really beautiful listing pages that they can then use a litany of tools to go and promote. Now, the one thing that is my biggest pet peeve is when I see agents use the IDX to market their listings, because why would you do that when you have the power to go in and brand it for yourself in a unique way, to add additional content yourself that's unique from everyone else that's displaying it on the IDX, and of course leverage even more powerful tools that can help you get better results. And so that's exactly why we built Listings Hub, to give individuals like yourselves that extra power when it comes to marketing your listing. So what I'll do is I'll share my screen here. I believe I have that control, Elena.
Hey, you missed one thing in there. When you create your own listings page on whatever portal or platform you're using, it's evergreen, right? If you're only running it on IDX, it's going to drop off of most of those sites once it sells. Not all of them, but most of them. And then you lose that page and that lead magnet. So yeah.
Absolutely. And that's a great point there, because obviously there is a life cycle of marketing and results you get after that listing sold. And when you set it up in the way I'm about to show you, you can take full advantage of that. So using Chase's website as an example, we'll first just take a look at his listings here.
That's a lease, and not a great example.
Not a lease. Okay, that's a lease.
Which one's Carnation? Carnation.
Carnation? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So what we have here, and this is a sold one, but we can imagine it's an active one. But you can see here that when Chase has an active listing in, he can set it up on his website and really brand it more personally himself. So you can see here that this has that wow factor that you're just not going to get from the IDX. It also gives Chase the ability to continue to add in specific content that, again, allows him to get more results, whether it's a call to action here, whether it's marketing more of his featured listings. And we have clients that add in other personalized videos or guides or other value-based item like social proofing to their listing pages that really, again, sets the content apart from then what you're traditionally used to seeing on the MLS. And this gives Chase the ability to, again, go in and use different tools to go and promote it. So for instance, on Agent Fire's websites, this is super easy. He can just type in #promote, and instantly, if he has an open house that he wants to promote for it, he can just click this button here to generate an open house landing page for it. So now he has an open house landing page set up that, again, he can go and edit and deploy and begin maybe marketing through PPC campaigns, boost posts, whatever he wants to use. He also can easily create lead magnets through social logs for it. So he can click this link here, go into social media, wherever he's promoting this listing, and share that link to automatically trigger a social site lock CTA for that listing. And you can continue to go down the path here of all these different things you can do. And I'll let Chase speak to more what he specifically does. And this is the type of power you get when you are using a specific kind of page, landing page, to custom build your listings on. And the other great thing here is you're not limited to just one design or to something that's boring like you're seeing used on MLSs. For instance, here's just another website that, you know, we have another template on where you can see that they have a totally different design on there and how they display their listings. So you get a lot of flexibility in terms of how you can wow people. And let's not forget, these impressions matter, because if you are trying to attract more buyer and seller clients, how you represent listings is going to play a factor in who they choose to work with. If I'm sure Chase can probably speak to this, but when, for instance, sellers see how he markets their listings, how they represent them, how he uses them to attract more buyers, he is probably in a better position to win that interaction over maybe one of his peers who doesn't go this extra mile. So again, these are some, you know, quick ways on how you want to structure or build out your listing strategies. Take them off the MLS, have a design that speaks to you and your brand, inject some unique content on it that you don't see on the MLS, whether it's social proof, whether it's more of your listings, call to actions, videos, whatever it might be, so it stands out a little bit further. And make sure that you, again, have a little checklist of the things you do to market this listing specifically to help it stand out. Whether it's, again, advertising your open houses in unique ways, drip campaigns, which Chase will speak to in a second, the list goes on. And another thing here that I won't do on Chase's website, but when it comes to Agent Fire, to promote your different active and sold listings is very easy as well. If your active listing has been sold, you can just click this convert to sold button and it'll recategorize it as well so that you can take advantage of different tools here. And we also know that sometimes it's a pain to set up some of these listings versus the IDX, which is all automated. That's why oftentimes agents use it. Well, with Agent Fire, you can go to an IDX listing that's your own, click hashtag import. And if I go and just do this again, sorry, I think I already triggered it, that's why. But if I go and just do hashtag import, I can import it directly off of the MLS and into Listings Hub to take care of a lot of the setup for me. I don't have to go and re-upload photos or some of the key details that I've already updated in the MLS. It'll handle it here. So at Agent Fire, we also try to take as much of the lift off of promoting and building these listing landing pages as possible. But I think that's probably a good place to stop and maybe let Chase or Elena take over from there.
Yeah, Luke, you had mentioned that there's a lot of different ways people can, not just directly in Agent Fire, but just as a whole, even outside of Agent Fire, people can rearrange a page differently. What are some mistakes that you've seen people make where it reduces the conversion of leads coming to the page?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is, again, it just goes back to people using their MLS listings verbatim, right? You're in a unique position where you can do more with it that others can't. So I would say there's not really one set rule for like layout or design. I would say just make it your own. But the other thing is to include things that are traditionally not seen on the MLS that is unique to you, that helps to position you as the expert. So add social proof, add more videos, add different value offerings on there, like joining a VIP list or subscribing to an alert or whatever the case might be. And, just inject some of your personal expertise and the things that are unique to you or to that listing that they're not going to get from a generic MLS portal. TLDR, unique content is everything, right? So that's what you should be focusing on, those pages.
And when you say social proof, does that mean reviews, testimonials? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, brag about yourself a little bit, right? People want to know that you are a trusted expert. So when you have some testimonials on the page, or maybe a case study on the page, which HFire is another great tool for that as well, to build out case studies from past clients. That's really what's going to get people to smash that contact button for you, right? Because again, we have to understand that part of these pages and why we build them is not just to attract buyers to purchase that listing, but it's to attract your next client, right? So when people kind of see the ways you've helped others and they can mirror their problems that they're having to the ones you've solved for that particular client, again, the likelihood that they reach out to you to help them with their buying and selling needs goes way up.
Cool. Last question for you, Luke. If someone doesn't have Agentfire, but they want to do it outside of, what would you recommend they do?
Yeah, so obviously it's a little bit tricky, but any, it depends on your website provider at the end of the day. If you just have like a WordPress website, you can probably pretty much hire any designer to go build out a template for you that you can easily duplicate and use. If you are pretty limited in terms of your technical knowledge, budget, or maybe the tools you're using just don't have that level of flexibility, then I would check out maybe layering on an additional tool on there, like Instapage, for instance, or leadpages.net. Those are kind of good to build one-off landing pages that you can use to promote. Yes, it's an extra cost, but they're pretty easy to use. And if for those that like to get a little bit more nerdy, you can kind of vibe code it using a tool called Lovable, where you can just kind of give it some photos and the text and say, build me this landing page, and it will kind of build it for you and host it for you. So if you're looking to kind of get a little bit more modern with your approach there, do that. But shameless plug here, the easiest way is just to sign up for Agentfire and use our tools.
Yeah. Chase, I saw you nod your head very big when Luke mentioned Lovable. I think you were playing around with it with like so many things. Is it like an AI tool or?
So yeah, I mean, I have to show you, and we're going to go on a complete side tangent, but it's so freaking cool. Let me show you what, and shout out to Brian Hurley. If you guys don't know who he is, and his wife in Pittsburgh, they are amazing. But it's basically it's just an AI design tool. I don't know how to explain it, but I took a deep research CMA. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah.
I took a deep research CMA that I did here and took a prompt that Brian wrote and gave us at the lab we just did in Dallas. And it built this entire landing page in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
With my fonts, my colors, my logo, my contact information, the data that I gave it. It's just so, yeah, you could imagine this for a landing page. That's, level 5 out of 10 on the AI hierarchy. But yeah, that's where things are going. But I mean, I can't speak enough to Agentfire's tools for this because it's very, very, very simple.
And don't worry, Chase, Agentfire is going that direction as well.
That's cool. Yeah, definitely check out Lovable for all your needs. Before we continue and Chase goes on to his portion, I just want to point out, like, Chase just did a little plug for the lab in Dallas. We're going to be doing another event in November on the 6th. It's that pink QR code there that you see to scan and learn more. Agentfire is actually the main luminary, like main sponsor, and Nelson, who's the founder, will be doing a deep dive session into websites as well. So Brian and Teresa were awesome. We have a great lineup this year as well with Julia from the Lawton team and Jeremy Wilson talking about how they do outbound referrals. They do 1,000 a year. So all like deep dive build sessions where speakers are going to plug in their computer and you're going to work alongside them. So really,
well, yeah. And the way I position it when I'm talking about this too, it's not a conference in a sense where you're taking notes and just listening to people talk at you for 4, 6, or 8 hours. It's like open your laptops and do it with them. So when you leave, you're not left with notes, you're left with actual systems built out. So that's a very powerful, very fun, very powerful day.
Yep. Yeah. And you might think 9 to 5 is a long time. In Dallas, it was 9 to 4. People wanted it to be longer. So it's 9 to 5 with a happy hour afterward. And people wanted the sessions longer. It's like each session is 45 minutes. Like it's not just super high level, surface level stuff. So it's going to be super fun. All right. Sorry to take that over. I just wanted to make that aware since Chase, you mentioned it. So we got the page set up. Now, how are you going to market it? Chase, walk us through sort of what your strategies look like.
So let me back up a second on the strategies, because everything that I do, and if you ever heard me talk, right, everything that we implement and pay for and invest in, I have to find a way for it to benefit us as the paying client, obviously, for our business. But there has to be a way to pass through the benefit to the client by name or by benefit for the client too. So everything that we do is a pass through, right? So we talk about this stuff at the listing presentation, at the buyer consult, at our open houses, because that's how you stand out. So all these things I'll share are things that we talk with the client about and get their buy-in for to stand out, right? So, I mean, yes, the listing page is phenomenal, but now you have it. It's kind of like having your listing photos. I got great photos. Now what are you gonna do with them, right? So, I mean, we use a company called Street Text that we love for our listing marketing, paid ads, Facebook, Meta, Instagram, and all of the Facebook ad partners that are in there, which are like half the internet, to drive traffic here, collect names and numbers, and drive traffic to. And so, but it's not spinning it in a way that's not truthful. It is presenting it in a way that sellers understand and also has you stand out amongst the competitors. So, I mean, a few things we do there, and this might be deeper than you wanted me to go, Elena, but this is where I get all excited. I mean, you can go into Facebook directly and see every ad your competitors are running, if there are any, and more often than not, you're going to see none. So print that screenshot. Maybe you might want to blur out the agent's name, but print out 3 screenshots. Say, these are our 4 competitors that you might have talked to. They're running no ads, right? So when they talk to you about posting your listing on Facebook, they're talking about posting it to their friend group of 800 friends, and Facebook's algorithm is such that it'll get seen by about 60 to 70 of them. And the comments are going to be from their title rep and their other agent friends and their office manager saying, nice new listing. How does that help you as a seller find new buyers? So we run paid ads. We run 29 separate advertisements to get behind and break through Facebook's very limited targeting to
29.
find.
Sorry to interrupt you, but you do 29.
29 ads.
So
Street Text makes it very easy. We do what are called 3 ad splits. And what that is we run basically 7 different ads, 3 of each. 3 identical ads for just listed photo, 3 just listed ads, just listed video, 3 just listed open house ad, different versions. And so that helps us get, again, behind the Facebook targeting limitations and say, great, after 24 hours, I've gone from 29 ads down to 3, and I'm funneling all the budget to the 3 ads that got me the most buyers, the most views, the most clicks, right? To get the best return on what we're spending. And Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, we're now getting 3 to 5 to 10,000 views on your listing before the weekend on channels that other listings are not, right? So the other angle that we take is that we focus a ton on exclusivity in the market, right? So yes, it's going to be on Zillow and Redfin and the 3,000 other syndicated sites that we have. It's wonderful. You should be there, and we're going to be there looking great with our virtual tour and our photos, right? But you're just one of a sea of many other houses, right? We hope they're going to click on your listing. What we focus on is getting your house on the channels where our competitors aren't investing in. Facebook, Instagram, paid Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, right? All of that traffic is what is driven to that landing page that Luke showed, right? So when they click through for learn more, when they give us their name and number, they're directed to that Agent Fire landing page, not Zillow and not, brokeragesite.com/ super long tail URL that's not really personalized to me and us. A ton of traffic is brought through there, and we show the clients, show them everything, right? That's how you're going to stand out. So, Mr. Seller, are you on Facebook? Yes. If you're not, you understand how powerful it is. You kind of get around that hurdle if you need to. And you say, great, well, you're on Facebook. Great. So when you scroll, what do you see? You see honeymoon picture and baby picture and a cat picture and then your house. and then 3 other posts, and then it's your house again, and your house again, right? Most of our competitors, as I've shown you, don't invest in this, right? We don't know where your buyer's coming from. It's our job as your agent to go uncover every rock they're hiding under to make sure we find the buyer paying the highest price with the best terms for you. Does that make sense? You get their buying, right? That's one of the ways to drive traffic here, right? We do a ton of email marketing, targeted. We do limited blasts to everybody. Those are getting less and less relevant as spam filters and, you know, the fixer AIs and those auto sort email things come out. You want to get really targeted. One of the things that I wish I could say I did every time, I've forgotten, to be honest, but I love it. One of the things that Luke didn't mention, when you scroll through my page, you guys saw that pop up, the VIP homes list pop up on the side. Those calls to action, to be really surface level, are extraordinarily customizable. So what I like to do when I can and when I remember to and have the time to, I'll record a custom video, just me in the office, just like this, right? And it's going to be very casual and very direct. And something I'm going to share on the video is not on the page, right? But I'm going to say, hey, it's Chase with the Whitney team. Thanks for clicking on the email you just received to look at 8547 Carnation. One thing you might not know about this house, it's been owned by the same family for 65 years. They've taken extraordinarily good care of it, yada, 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 right? If you want more information in the email, right, yada, yada, like respond to the email, we'll get in touch. But they only see that video if they clicked on that one email, right? We get replies all the time. How did you know that I clicked on your email? Well, guess what? We have some really cool tools that we invest in. I mean, open house flyers, QR code flyers, you know, just listed postcards. This is not rocket science, but it's ways that we leverage the traffic. And then when you leverage the traffic to your site and really funnel clicks to it, then you can talk to your sellers about the power of your site, not just that we create a pretty website for your house. I think a lot of agents out there are going to tout their single property website, right? And they'll use the Instapage, or they'll use list reports, or they'll use some free tool out there. But when we drive so much traffic to our site, I'll bring a Google Analytics printout and say, look, we're going to put a banner ad on the homepage of our site that gets 4,000 views a month, highlighting your listing, right? It's just you're over leveraging everything you have. Now you have to follow through with it. You can't promise something and not do it. So everything that we do, that we promise at the table, we follow through it and then show them the proof of it, right? To kind of keep that cycle going and keep that cycle closed. Otherwise, they're going to be wondering why you lied to them, why you didn't do X, didn't do Y. That's probably a lot more information than you were hoping for, but
never too deep for me. No, it was good. Chase, the question for you, you mentioned like sometimes you do the video. Are you doing all of this yourself, or do you have someone doing this for you? Like how much is automated? Yeah,
so automated, not much. I have 2 VAs that I use, and one of them does a lot of the marketing for me. So she'll create the site. I'll approve it, obviously. I'll record the video and she uploads it and adds the code that she needs to, or not even the code, just the call to action. Yeah, I mean, I've offloaded most of it, thankfully. But when I was doing it myself, it honestly, to make that whole landing page that Luke talked about, and the downside of the IDX import thing is you're lagging days on market, right? You got to wait for it to pull up on IDX, wait for it, then import it, then you can use it. I know Clear Cooperation is a part of most MLSs and across the country. I have no idea about Canada, but and I gotta be careful how I say this. You have a 24-hour window prior to being on the MLS where you're allowed to market it without getting in trouble, right? So if you're going to go on the market on Thursday, build the site on Monday, launch it on Wednesday, leverage the absolute crap out of it for 24 hours before you go live, and there's your sneak preview, right? There's your off-market opportunity, right? So, but the point was building the whole thing. I mean, we could do it right now live in about 2.5 minutes. It's very, very quick. And that's in part thanks to how easy they've made it. You literally click new listing, address, click on the little house button, address, details, description. They've got a great AI generator with a prompt this long on the back end that Luke's built. So if you haven't gone that far yet, you can certainly have it build your marketing narrative. And you're live in 5 minutes.
Very nice. Luke, Duncan posted a question that he uses Real Scout with Agentfire. Can he still create these custom listings? And
Yeah, I was just answering in there. Yeah, so you just can't use the import feature, but you can still use Listings Hub freely, no matter what IDX you're using with Agentfire.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I really like a tool that Luke, you shared on one of our previous calls that you can, like, ads are one way to get people to the listing. Chase mentioned you're doing it less and less, but I mean, I still send out like 10 emails, batch emails a day. I just do it to very segmented lists to where it's sending to like 30 people or something. So our open rates are 70-80%. But Luke, can you share how easy it is to create those promotional batch emails?
So if you take a look at any like email marketing study, obviously the things that perform the best are personalized emails, but it's really difficult to write personalized emails for your different segments or every listing you have or marketing action you're doing. And at Agentfire, we try to give you a better jumping off point to simplify that. And inside of Listings Hub, it's no different. So I'll share my screen again and just kind of show you how easy it is. And also, if you're not an Agentfire client or an Agentfire Plus subscriber, I actually have another tool that you can use that is completely free to do this. But on tools like Listings Hub, this also works with our blogs, with our IDX, with our area guide pages. You can type in #drip. And what it'll do is I'll load up our builder here. You can choose your campaign type. You can choose the type of campaigns you want and the perspective. So again, if it's your listing, a team listing, a brokerage listing, or maybe it's just something you found on the hot sheets that day that you want to share. And what you can do is you can generate some drip sequences from this. And this is not a ChatGPT clone. I've built these from the ground up. It's thousands of words of prompting. We try to mimic what email marketers do when it comes to them writing emails, as well as we consulted with people like Chase on what they see works with their clients. And we really try to instill all that in a way that is an AI workflow that, writes these to the same level of care that a human would, right? Now, of course, just like anything with AI, that's also why it takes so long, by the way, is because we're not cutting corners here. So that if it's something's like really fast and generic, that's probably a red flag. But again, we don't spare any expense when it comes to generating these. And so yeah, this will write out. And again, just like anything with AI, you do want to treat it as like a draft at the end of the day and still kind of go through and inject more of your personal voice. And maybe there's some, if you are sending this to an individual client or a group of clients, some more information that's specific to them. But you can see here very quickly, it generated like a just sold email, an SMS text message, and it also categorized it from buyers and sellers. So ones that they might be interested in. So obviously with buyers, they might be interested in what's happening in the market, based off of the homes they're looking to see versus, nosy neighbor type of scenarios here. But again, if you're not Agentfire client or anything else, I'll link to this again, but I built a GPT that can, for our marketing community tribe.real estate. And this is something that anyone can use. It runs off a similar workflow that we use here, just obviously a lot more, I guess dumbed down's maybe not the best word for it, but it's just because we don't have the same access of functionality that we did building this one. But it is just a more simplified version. That's probably a better way to say it, that you can use. And again, it brings you through a really great step-by-step process on how you can generate personalized listing drips, where it'll ask for the listing itself, and then it will go kind of scan it, find some information, begin writing those emails, asking you what campaigns, et cetera, right? So you can see here that it's asking me, what type of, email that I want to target and the campaign, et cetera. So it's really, really kind of a cool GPT that I built for here. Yeah. And then you can see if I just start filling out information that it will begin writing everything out. And again, I try to inject as much of the data and insights that we could from Agentfire into this to actually make it write something that's purposeful. And the one other maybe benefit here that our drips don't have right now. It's obviously conversational, so you can kind of edit and tweak it in here, but you could always do that with this here and bring these in and start editing it with ChatGPT as well. So again, I'll link to this in the chat if anyone wants to use it. And you can also go to tribe.realestate and sign up for our marketing community that has a bunch of really cool tools and insights like that.
Cool. That's really awesome and generous of you to share and create that. That's really cool. Thanks.
No problem.
So I'm going to take over screen share. Make sure I'm sharing the right tab because I have a lot of tabs. Okay. So I went into Chase's website and just wanted to show you like what you do after you generate the leads, specifically with Agent Fire. So like there's two common CTAs you'll see on a lot of web pages, not just Agent Fire, but like you probably have something similar to these on your website if it's not Agent Fire provided. One is to schedule a tour. So that's what you see circled on the left side here is I came in as a test lead. He deleted me, so that's good. You deleted my test lead. But when I came in, the nice thing about Agent Fire specifically is it integrates with Follow Boss, so everything just runs in smoothly. Like if you don't use it and use your own website and it's custom built, you have to bug developers to do it, and 99% of them won't. But you need that information to make sure you know who the person is and how to properly assign the lead. Like, is it a buyer, is it a seller? We have like different teams and whatnot. So whenever I came in, you can see I circled here that I came in tagged to schedule a viewing and with my contact info blurred out. And what you can do in Follow Boss, you already know about action plans. I created a simple one for like a showing request. And specifically in Chase's lead flow in Follow Boss, it comes in with his website. And then you can see I clicked on advanced settings. He has quite a few because he's done a lot of different types of pages and ads. But specifically, I created an advanced rule to say, okay, now that I pushed this test lead over, I know that these leads come in with a tag, a schedule of viewing. So you can see here I said rule number 7. I think he has like 10 now after doing this. But rule number 7 is if someone comes in tagged as schedule of viewing, then it still goes to Chase, but initiate the showing request campaign. That way it's specific to what they're clicking on versus just like a general, thanks for visiting my website. Like you want it to be more specific. And I'd say 9 out of 10 websites we work with do not do this. And so whenever someone says, hey, like, yeah, we put so much, like we invested so much, I have a custom website, or we use this company, big name company, I'm not going to name names. We have all these cool pages we created. I'm like, cool. None of that information is going into FUB. Sorry. Like either you have to just do a generic plan, or you have to reach back out to that big company and be in their queue for maybe 1 year later for them to do this, or you just wasted a bunch of time on this website. So that's something that gets often overlooked is people will like spend so much money and time in a website and then none of that translates over to the CRM. So that's one thing to do. And then you obviously saw like the other button was contact. That's just like a contact generic form. So I created another advanced rule for this one to say, okay, when they come in tagged as contact, they'll get our generic, and that's when they'll get a generic campaign because it's just a generic contact. We don't know exactly why they're contacting or want to contact Chase and the Whitney team, so it's there. But he has an advanced rule for open house leads and specific property listings that he wanted to do a specific drip campaign for. So it's really neat what you can do in Follow Boss specifically. But Chase, did I miss anything for what you typically do?
No, I mean that's the targeting is important, right? And that's one of the things that we have spent some time with. I mean, different ad campaigns we've taken Elena's and then customize them a little bit here and there with the beginnings, because if they come in on an ad, this is not a listing ad, but single story homes, right? We want to get at least a couple. Follow Boss is ringing. When they come in on a single story homes list ad, we want content related to that, right? They're probably downsizing. They might already own a house. right? Versus our upsize list, which is 3 bedrooms and up, usually 2 stories, right? Different content. So this is, what she's sharing there is just making sure that what you're sending out on the automations is relevant to the request in the first place. And again, that's how you get one layer past in developing your relationships and your communications and getting responses and opens, is because it's hyper relevant to what they've triggered the action of.
And something go ahead.
I was going to say, and this also factors back to the personalization, right? A lot of agents or teams don't take that extra step to set up proper tagging on their forms, to route it properly in their CRMs like Follow Up Boss. And this is a way when you set up these different segmentations where, you using AI and other tools to kind of write some more of these personalized messages or templates or whatever it is, that you're going to start to see a much better open rate and click-through rate, because it feels like they're written more for that individual versus those who tend to maybe just stay on the safer side, or maybe a little lazy with it, and they just kind of send everything out generically to people. Like, you're just not going to get those results.
Yeah.
Well, and like Elena mentioned, even on the email side of things, like when we would send out a blast email, this is, now it's been a couple of years, but I mean, the just listed email that goes out to, 7,000 people. Like, there's a way you can make it sound good to a seller. Oh, look, our database, this and that. And what you're not going to say is, yeah, we get a, 16% open rate and like 3 clicks. Or you say, look, our database is segmented down. I know exactly who's browsing, when they're browsing, why they're browsing, their time frames, etc. And I'm going to make sure that people that are browsing houses on my site for homes like yours are going to get the marketing for this because they're the most relevant, subset. And now we're going to get a 70% open rate versus a 17% open rate because of the targeting.
Yep. One thing I just thought of, which I need to create, was if you have a list of an existing person do something, like if you're running your ads properly and they come back and they want to click and schedule a viewing or a showing, you want to make sure you don't miss those people. So yes, you can create smart lists. Yes, you can create automations. Like, this was what I was going to share, of like an automation initiated by Property Viewed, but take it a step further and create an automation when they get tagged to schedule a viewing, so that you're again hyper focused on what exactly it is they're doing. So, I meant to switch where I was sharing, not stop sharing. So I'm going to do this in Chase's account right now, if that's all right with you, Chase.
Sure.
So like I mentioned, they get tagged to schedule a viewing, and I can zoom in a little bit here. And I'll just say Agent Fire schedule viewing. And then we can initiate the showing request. So that one lasts like, make sure I'm doing the email one. I am. It lasts a year long until they respond, but you want to do conditions in here so you're not emailing the wrong person at the wrong time. So I would probably say only send it if the stage includes lead, hot, warm, or cold. You probably don't want to include like current clients that you're already talking to, people that you've marked as contact not interested, or vendors. And then you'd say, but only send it to people who I haven't talked to recently, because we don't want to oversaturate people with communication. So more than 7 days ago, last communication. Yep. Chase, would there be any other folks you would want to receive this? Like, do you care if?
Nurture is a big one at the bottom.
Oh, at the bottom. Okay. And then like renter feature buyers, you probably do that one.
Yep.
Farm?
Yep.
Yeah. So now that this is enabled, are you okay? I enabled it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now that it's enabled, if people are specifically requesting a showing rather than just coming back to the website and looking at something, this is going to be hyper focused on that. So make sure you hit those existing people, which I have a bad habit of not doing. I just think of brand new leads. I don't think about, oh, what happens if someone's already in my CRM and they come back? Like, want to make sure that messaging gets sent to them as well, and that you track those people in Follow Up Boss. Where is it? Here, with new leads and recent online activity, you're tracking both of those, because the people who come back again are the most forgotten people, unfortunately, but those are the hotter leads oftentimes, because they're not brand new. They've seen your stuff a few times now. So yeah, I think that's everything we wanted to cover. Did I miss anything, Chase or Luke?
I'm happy to answer some questions if anyone has any.
Yeah, and Luke put the GPT in the chat as well. And in case you missed it, and plus I have one more resource for you. We'll be in person all day at the lab in Vegas, where it's an all-day build session from 9 to 5. We've got some awesome speakers, including Nelson from Agent Fire. And then the other resource is if this sounds overwhelming to you and you don't want to DIY your website, your web pages, Agent Fire is where you want to go. And if it's overwhelming to create the stuff in your CRM, then that's where we come in. Key Technology, you can scan that QR code, or I'll also put a link in the chat. But thank you all for hopping in today. And I don't know if Chris is still on here. I put a chat message that I was distracted by her dog. I think it's a beagle. I really liked that dog. It was cute.
I will also just take a step further with Agent Fire. Not only do we help you with these easy to use tools, but if you subscribe to Agent Fire Plus, you literally get VA hours where you can just tell us, hey, can you set up this listing for me? And we just do it for you. So there's like absolutely no lift when it comes to not only creating those listing pages, but also some of the marketing actions that we showed today. So we'll set up your open house lead pages, registration pages, send you drips to send out. We can automate that for you through both our AI tools and also human services as well. So and Agent Fire Plus is only an extra $50 a month. So it's not something that breaks the bank at the end of the day. So just I wanted to do a little bit of shameless promotion there. Sorry, Lana.
Yeah, no, that's all good. Chris is wondering how people can get in touch with you.
Yeah, so I think the best thing to do is to connect with one of our project specialists. And if you do get onboarded, you'll definitely see me around and can take part in some of our office hours or tribe workshops that we run. But the best thing to do here is just to go to our schedule a demo page and book a demo there with one of our product specialists, and then we can. And then, like I said, once you're onboarded, you'll be seeing me.
Yeah, one other thing I'll say is it's kind of dummy proof the way that Agent Fire has set up everything. Like, I think that's why, Chase, you've been able to hand off a lot to a virtual assistant, is like they can just click a couple of buttons and create the page and create the email. Yeah, it still has to be proof, and yes, you still approve it, but it's kind of dummy proof again for how you can set this all up.
Well, yeah, I mean, quick, plug for Agent Fire from me. I mean, I've been using them for going almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years, and I think November or December. But I mean, we had sites before. I interviewed everybody when Richard, we lost Richard. I interviewed everybody.
One day.
And this was the choice I made. And 3 years in, I could not be happier. And I've seen everything, right? I was the guy that would change softwares and sites and tools every 6 months because I saw something I had to have, and I went to a conference and had to sign up there, and that stopped on the site. Well, most of my tech, because my stack I have now I'm very happy with, but Agent Fire is a big part of it. So it's one of those things where it's the best blend you're going to get of tools, design, and affordability, which is very hard to get all three of those. So there's my 30-second plug.
And because we have such a deep integration with Follow Up Boss, I would say one of the best ones in the industries, leveraging Key Technology, which has come, like, I can't say like how many clients have raved about, working with them to help them with on the Follow Up Boss side of things. It's just a really great marriage there. And Follow Up Boss from a CRM perspective, in Agent Fire's opinion, is the best one on the market. And that's why we invest so much into it. So all the services that you would get from Key Technology would pair very, very well with everything that we do here at Agent Fire, because generating leads is just the first step. Nurturing them is obviously where you ultimately win your transactions at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I'll give you one more. Just we're on the subject, but I mean, we do a ton of we farm like you wouldn't believe. So what I mean, like door to door, dropping stuff off. So we run a lot of events, a lot of contests, a lot of giveaways. Community builder type stuff. And before, none of the forms on any other site allowed us to integrate to Follow Up Boss. So I'd always have to build a Google form and then zap it in and customize this. And it was like 4 extra steps. Asian Fire is the only one, I think still, I could be wrong on that. But when I build the form out, all I have to do now is change the tag at the end of the form to trigger whatever that automation is. So now we're doing a big pumpkin pie giveaway. Before we did the back to school contest. Before we did that, we did a barbecue food drive. All I have to do, the form is the exact same. I just, in Agent Fire, just change the headline of the page and the tag at the bottom, and then that will trigger the appropriate workflow because of their integration to Follow Boss specifically.
We need to do, I thought of 2 other webinars we need to do after this one. One is to show how you do 29 ads, and the other one is how you do the farming. So
Perfect.
it's really cool. All right. Well, thank everyone for
We've been farming for only 28 years in the same neighborhoods.
That's really cool. You don't look that old, Chase. How'd you do it for 28 years?
I was 10 and I was on rollerblades. And then my grandmother had passed away and we got her Rascal scooter. And I thought it'd be really funny at 12 years old to use the scooter to go around. Until I hit a steep driveway a few days in and turned and the whole thing fell over.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. I got some stories with that.
Yeah. Well, now we got electric scooters, and my husband got one, and he's going like 20 miles an hour. Good fun times. All right. Well, thank you all for joining. For those of you who had to hop off late or had to leave early, we'll send the recording to everyone who registered. And yeah, see y'all next time.
Thank you, everyone.
You guys.
Bye.
Thank you.